Before we can start adding any material costs to our tasks, we need to first enter them into the system so that they are there and made available for us to choose. Entering any kind of resource, whether it's material, work or cost, is done through the same sheet. So if we're looking at material resources, we need to go to Gantt chart from the task ribbon and come down to resource sheet. Now you can access this resource sheet from view as well, Gantt chart, more views, resource sheet, and it brings us to the same place. Now the resource sheet has a number of columns. These columns are actually the same regardless of the resource type, but they're not all available. So the first stage is to start entering our information. The first column is an indicator column. We cannot do anything there, but what we do might cause things to appear. We then enter a resource name. So we're going to need joinery bits. Joinery bits. In the type, we choose one of the three types that we've already discussed. Well, this is a material type. Let's widen the column. There is then a column entitled material that we can use for entering the material units. So what do joinery bits come in? Well, they come in bits. The initials, and you can see that all the project has done is taken the first initial off of the resource name. I'm going to call these JB for joinery bits. The group is optional, and we can use that to group resources together, which is quite useful for reporting. I'm going to leave that. Max, you'll find, is not available for a material resource type. So in theory, there is no maximum number of joinery bits we can purchase. We work out what we need, we go and buy them, regardless of how many there might be in the world. Then the standard rate is effectively how many dollars per material unit type, so how many dollars per bit. Well, that's simply $1 per bit. Overtime is a non-available column for material types. Cost per use, so is there a cost per use associated with your materials? So we're talking at $1 per material bit for a joinery bit, but then is there an additional cost per use? Is there a delivery for every time you use it? Is there an admin fee? Well, in the case of joinery bits, there's nothing. And then how are our costs accrued? Are they effectively spread out for the duration of the task they're assigned to? Or are they allocated at the start or the end of that task? Well, for cash flow basis, I'm going to allocate them to the start of the task. The base is a non-available column for material types. And then the code is a free type column that you might wish to put the item code in if you're individualizing each of your materials, or a cost code or a purchase order number. It's simply a column for you to use as you see fit. We then come along and add in the next resource type. So this is a material type, things that you will need to buy. So we're going to need to buy a bed. It's a material type and the unit is a unit. I'm going to abbreviate that to BD, and our cost is $2,500, and that's going to be at the start of the task. The next resource name, we're going to need to buy paint. It's a material type, comes in gallons, PA for paint, and it costs $3.50 per gallon. Probably quite cheap, with a cost at the start. We're going to need to buy plaster. Again, it's a material type, comes in packets. PL for plaster, and it's $2 a packet with a cost at the start. Other materials we'll need for our bedroom: wardrobe, material, units, WD, 2,750, accrued at the start. And then finally, paintbrushes, material, again our units, PB for paintbrushes, and they're $2.99 a piece, accrued at the start. So each of your materials that you're looking to cost out for this project needs adding in. This material list might come from purchase order you've already made, or this might actually build your purchase order. Now, behind each of your resources, we can double click to get the resource information. The resource information box gives us pretty much the same fields: initials, group, code, resource type, unit, and then we have an extra option here which is not in the list here, which we can change to proposed and committed. So you can decide whether a cost is actually a proposed cost or a finalized committed cost. And that again can be quite useful when reporting. Now, behind the resource information, there are other tabs as well. There is a notes section, which is pretty much exactly the same as the notes section for a task. So we can type information into here. Ensure we buy the silk brushes. And you can even attach documents, such as PDFs of health and safety requirements for a particular product. And then there is a cost section, which allows us to add in costs, which we've already done here at $2.99, but we can add in further costs if the cost is likely to change throughout the project. So we might cost them at $2.99 while we're building the project, but we know that from the 1st of April, they're going to go up to $3.35. Then we can build that in and say, actually, from April the 1st, standard rate for these brushes is actually going to be $3.35. With a nil cost per use, so that if the brushes are actually then used on any tasks after April 1st, they will accrue the higher rate. And OK, we'll save those changes, and you can see the note we've added appears in the indicator column, so we can hover and read the note, just like the notes in the task information box. So that's adding material costs. Not all the columns are available. The max one isn't available, the overtime one isn't available, and the base isn't available. But you can add a purchase code or a reference code of some type. You can add a group should you wish to group some of these materials together at the reporting stage.